Alright, good evening. This is Corporal Cortella. We got a Dawn of War 2 Retribution cast right here. 1 versus 1. We have Texanius over here as the Apothecary. And over here we got Dark Riku, also known as Captain Dark Riku, as he used to be called, playing as the Warlock. Now we have a little bit of a role reversal here. Normally, Riku is the Apothecary. He played the Apothecary for a long time until it got nerfed in Retail 3.18, and then he stopped playing the Apothecary and started playing the Force Commander. But today we have Tex playing the Apothecary. Now I like both of these players a lot. Tex is obviously an excellent player. He's kind of like a really smart guy. Now I don't just mean smart in terms of his playing, because obviously a lot of the great players, they're going to be smart players. But Tex is also really able to put that into words. He's like the kind of guy, they get him for all those co-casts because he's got a lot to say about the game, and he really knows how to put it into ways that people can understand, and that just really makes you think about, like, oh yeah, that is true, but I never thought of it myself. So anyway, enough talking about them. Let's just take a look at the game right here. We got the Apothecary and the Warlock about to meet. We also have Scouts running away from Guardians, yes. Oh, actually, Dire Avengers. They are Dire Avengers now. They are not Guardians. And that is a winning fight. Guardians do beat single Scout squads, or Dire Avengers once again. Here, the Apothecary. This should be a losing battle for the Apothecary, but we have Tactical Marines supporting the Apothecary, so now this will be a winning battle. Destructor, not that great against Tactical Marines. Good against a high model count with low HP squads like Guardsmen, or even Guardians or Banshees. Well, Banshees when they aren't upgraded. But otherwise, not so great against Tactical Marines. Especially these tactical guys are already going to start regenerating their health in the Apothecary's passive health regeneration aura. Let's see what we got going on. Scouts capturing the middle. So Tex is going to have the victory point advantage just to start out, but these Scouts are not in a great position. They got the Warlock coming on here. We got Dire Avengers, I got it right this time, flanking. The Warlock just leaped into combat against the Scouts. They do that. He does that now. It's very good. Some of you even say it's OP. Tex did not build power, and now his power is getting decapped. He did that because he wanted to put out 2 tactical squads on the field. So that's very durable units, but it does set him back because all of that requisition means he was not able to put a node down immediately. Riku, obviously, he's got Dire Avengers and Howling Banshees. That was his opening build, so he was able to put down a node and 2 generators. While I'm talking about generators, I'm missing fighting. So we got the Scouts and the Tactical Marines being forced off of it because Dark Riku has a Shuriken platform on the field, or now it's called a Guardian Weapon Team because it starts as a Shuriken and can be upgraded to a Bright Lance. Alright, right now Tex does not have any real suppression counters to that, but he's still winning on the victory points. He's got 2 victory points. We got Tactical Marines over here doing a little bit of generator bashing. Right now just with bolters, maybe we'll see if they'll upgrade to flamers. That would make them bash a lot better. Tex is winning on the map control. He's got all this power and all this requisition over here. Riku does not have much capped yet, even though Eldar should have superior map control, but he also doesn't have aspect on either his Banshees or his Dire Avengers, which means they don't get fleet of foot, which means they're actually slower than Scouts. So maybe he should be losing on map control. But he does have 4 units out right now. Tactical Marines in trouble. Warlock and Banshees. That is not a good fight at all for the Tactical Marines or the Apothecary either. These Banshees, they just destroy shit. They retreat people. I mean, even when you retreat, they just wipe squad members, and eventually they even wipe squads. I think Riku's pretty lucky that he got out of that. I'm sorry, I think Tex is pretty lucky that he got out of that pretty much unscathed without losing anything. But he does lose one thing, which is he loses map control. He cedes the field. We got ASM on the field for Tex. This is a wreck-heavy opening. That's very long. He will probably get to Tier 2 after Riku does. Riku's got Rangers right here, often considered a very good choice against Space Marines because they just bleed Scout models. Those Scout models are a lot more valuable than Guardsmen or anything else, but they still get one-shotted by those Rangers. Over here we have Banshees that are gen bashing. We got Scouts shooting at them and 2 tac squads. These Banshees are going to have to go. Meanwhile, the Assault Space Marines are using their assault jump to get on top of both Rangers and Shuriken platforms. Ooh, Banshee's in a little bit of trouble. Lost down to 2 members. I think he overextended them a little too bit. Probably wanted this bash a little too bad. I think that's kind of one of Riku's weakness sometimes. He's obviously a fantastic player, but sometimes he just wants things a little too much, and it kind of screws him. Right now we have an even number of units, but Tex does have the much more expensive army. Assault Marines against the Warlock, who now has the Merciless Witchblade. Fantastic weapon. Only does regular melee type damage, but it has this great special attack, does 65 DPS, and it also burns 15 energy, which is great against the Assault Space Marines because it means they won't have enough energy to jump out. Now these scouts right here, in a fight with the Warlock, they're already too close to be forced off with the explosive shot or whatever it is. Even with the Apothecary, that's probably not a winning battle for the Warlock. Now right now it's most of Tex's units on the field, while Eldar is all the way back here, but Riku does have 2 of the victory points. How are we doing over here with the Warlock? Oh, but Tex upgraded to the Sanguine Chainsword. That means right now he's definitely winning that fight. And there's that awesome special attack right there. Not that great against a single unit, but when it's up against big squads with a lot of members, it is amazing. Now another thing I want to talk about here that I kind of forgot is that, in my opinion, this matchup heavily favors the Eldar. Heavily. I would say, in my opinion, again, I would say the second worst overall race matchup in the game, right behind Space Marines versus Tyranids. This is especially true for heroes that aren't the Force Commander, and as you can see, this is not the Force Commander. Not even close. Under fire. Tactical Marines under fire. But obviously, Tex is a great player. Let's see what he can do. I think he generally beats Riku, but Riku's a great player too, so, and he is playing, again, in my opinion, the race that is favored in this matchup. So we'll see what happens. As I said, this is a great game. Alright, we got guys over here. Right now they're just doing some positioning, no engagements, even though they're all pretty close to each other. Banshees, obviously very dangerous tactical Marines. They just destroy shit. You want to get them as far away from Banshees as possible, but Tactical Marines against Guardians, that is Dire Avengers, they are in a world of shit right now. And, yeah, pretty much as soon as those swords touch the Space Marines in the butt, they want to get out of there, or they will get it in the butt. But this is good. Assault Marines, basically the whole army. When you have the whole Space Marine army, that actually does counter Banshees. Alright, we have a Shuriken platform over there, but we also got Assault Marines with enough energy to jump them, which they will probably do. Yep, right there. He retreats them instantly to avoid taking any bleed whatsoever, but it looks like Tex is getting the field back right now. Rangers one-shot that scout model, but they are forced off. Scouts recapping the center. Tex over here at full health. It's weird. All of these squads seem to be at full health. Amazing how he's doing that. He's managing his engagements well enough that he's not losing much, even though Eldar generally hit harder in this matchup. Even though Space Marines are supposed to be durable, Eldar just hit hard in so many ways, from Banshees that do 1,000,000 damage to Rangers that one-shot scout models, to Guardians or Dire Avengers that don't have their aspect yet, but they can throw grenades on people in retreat paths, and that really destroys shit too. Space Marines, very durable. Tex is either getting lucky, or he's knows when to retreat his units, because he has not been losing units on retreat, even somehow against the best unit for wiping retreating units in the game. So maybe he knows this matchup, maybe he's just good, maybe he's just lucky. We'll see. Banshee's right behind Tex right now. That is a bad position, and maybe he'll lose a model this time, or these Banshees just getting caught on these pipes. Tex get away again. Wow. And I'm even reacting here. Oh god, Banshees. But Banshees aren't doing that much. Maybe he'll turn around to this tax squad and get some models. No. I don't know why he didn't do that. He would have taken at least 1 model, if not 2. And Floyd says, yeah, nope, Banshee's not that bad. Even Lean Mean Bullshitting Machine says, why no retreat attack? Why didn't he attack those retreating techs? And the rest of these spectators are all confused as well. Apothecary, not in a good position, but he upgraded to combat stimulants. Not a very common war gear, but we'll see how Tex puts it to use. Yeah, Apothecary, even with shotgun scouts, is not going to win against a Ranger Squad, and a Shuriken. Alright, what do we see over here? We have Banshees bashing that generator. These Dire Avengers finally get their aspect upgrade, but they're getting cut up by chainswords. Assault Marines, not a very powerful squad in terms of damage, but Dire Avengers, a very weak squad, so they do lose 4 members right there. These Rangers, or these Scouts, got to watch out because they're about to get shot, and they somehow don't lose a model because they have the Scout Sergeant. The Scout Sergeant actually does not get one-shotted. Just a little tidbit of information for those of you guys who don't know. Wow, we have a Wraith Lord out on the field already. The only AV that Tex really has right now are the Stern Guard Veterans, new unit to the Elite mod. Very good damage against regular infantry with their Hellfire bolts. They can also switch to Vengeance rounds for vehicles, but in my opinion, not that great. Very low damage. Probably still does piercing damage. They're getting shot by Rangers. They're about to get cut up by Wraith Sword, Assault Space Marines, about to get hit by Banshees. Not looking good for Space Marines, but let's see how Texan manages. He does Merciless Strike to force off the Banshees, so that is good. That is one of the good things about the Assault Space Marines. Obviously, not a dedicated melee unit in the sense that they do as much damage as most melee units, just because they're focused on disruption. But the knockback from the Assault Jump, as well as the Merciless Strike from having the Sergeant upgrade, does allow them to at least stall out units like Banshees or Heretics, and possibly even force them to retreat, even though by damage they can't really compete. Riku still has the most victory points, so he's still winning. Still got more victory points, 385 to 306. These ASM have not lost a model yet, but still not in a great position. Oh, and they in a lot of trouble. But Tex smartly jumps them out and retreats them. If he didn't retreat them, he probably would have gotten wiped by the Warlock. All right. Tex now, obviously, since Riku has seeded the field a bit, Tex is getting that second victory point back. He's going to be winning on that point. Tex has all his AV over here, hitting the Wraith Lord. He's also hitting the Dire Avengers who are repairing the Wraith Lord. Ooh, and we have an Autarch call in. One of the other things that I think really gives Eldar the advantage here in this matchup, because the Autarch hard counters a lot of things. She hard counters, obviously, any range squad. That's Tactical Marines. It also especially hard counters setup squads, and if you'll notice, Tex does not have any setup squads. Banshees hard counter setup squads as it is, because if they get a flank on a setup squad, that setup squad is basically dead. It's like dead. Let's see. Someone pointed out here that the Exarch died, I think on the Banshees. Riku now has 6 units out on the field. 6 plus his hero to Tex's 4 plus his hero. But Tex does have the Melt-A-Bombs on his Assault Marines. He does have Stern Guard Veterans with Vengeance rounds, and he does have a rocket launcher on his Tactical Marines. So he has just about enough AV to take out. He has more than enough AV to take out the Wraith Lord. The only thing he's going to have to manage is the fact that Riku can tie up, or in some way keep all of Tex's AV busy. He can have the Autarch jump on some of them. He's got the Warlock over here. If the Warlock can get in range, he ties them up. He's got the Banshees. He's also got the Rangers that can knock them over with their kinetic shot, or just bleed them to death by shooting them. Yep, that's all the stuff they have to have. Autarch taking some damage from these Scouts. Has the Executioner Spear, very good weapon. I wonder if she has the Bubble Shield, which is pretty good. Makes her really tough, especially makes her good for capturing points and just laughing as your enemy shoots at you without being able to force you off. Apothecary upgraded here to combat stimulants and now improved medical equipment. Personally, I would have gotten the Purification Rites just as another way of controlling Banshees, but well, Tex is a better player than me. See how well he manages that. He's still got his Apothecary at level 1. Most of this stuff is at level 1, actually. Tactical Marines here at level 2. Autarch, chilling in base, getting health back. This is part of what's tough for dealing with Eldar against Space Marines. He's got the Shuriken behind a shield. He's got Guardians behind a shield. So neither of these squads are going to take any damage as long as they are behind that shield. But we have, a lot of units here in a losing battle for these units, especially the Warlock. He's forced off. He's not on the field. Rangers right here, shooting, bleeding. Well, not even bleeding because Assault Marines are tough. Combat stims on ASM. He's got little yellow circles around his Assault Space Marines. I think that means that he used combat stimulants on them, increase their damage. Now we have a move over here, move on this fortified position, Scout's Grenade, and the Guardian Weapon team appears to take no damage whatsoever. Yep. Assault Marines in trouble. They jump out. Tex is going to heal them a bit, but it looks like they lost a model. Apothecary's in good shape, but he cannot possibly fight a Wraith Lord or these Guardians, and he's in a really bad position right now. Probably going to get wiped, especially if these Guardians throw the grenade. Gets hit by that sword, does 1,000,000 damage. I say bye-bye Apo because I think he's gone, but he gets out. I'm wrong. Alright. Banshees over here shooting this generator with their guns, even though they would do about 100 times more damage if they start using their swords. And if you look over here, they not just use their swords, some of them actually kick. They got the kick. Where's the kick? Kick. I like the kick. Yeah, kick right here. Alright. Assault Marines only at 3 health. 3 models. When he lost 1 tech, Floyd says. He didn't lose attack. Scouts get forced off. Apo is Chuck Norris in armor. He can't die. Not true. Assault Marines in a lot of trouble right now. AV right here against the Wraith Lord. Assault Marines in a lot of trouble. Possibly going to get wiped. Oh, and I mentioned that he didn't lose attack squad. He got a Stern Guard. Assault Marines. Oh, he used the Apothecary Global, Angels of Death, which no longer grants invulnerability, just 50% damage resistance and knockback immunity, but it still saves this ASM squad. Apothecary right here coming to rejoin the battle. Alright, right now, it looks like Riku's the one with the map control. He's got most of these resource points, as well as the 2 victory points. He's got more units on the field. Tex has more units retreating. It's still 6 units to Tex's 4. But what I missed over here was, in all my talking, the Warlock went down, which is not great. Riku can probably afford to buy it back soon, too. He's got it. Oh, and Riku's going to Tier 3. Tex is already in Tier 3. I didn't even point that out because I didn't notice. But Tex is about to get a 3 cap. Riku's about to get a 3 cap. He's leading on victory points 350 to 149. Let's see, we got a fight between the... No one, because the Autarch ran away. Tex knows where the Autarch is. He's going to chase after with the scouts. If the Autarch runs into them, they just blast them off. Tax going back out. Missing a lot of members. 3 members here, 3 members here. So only 2 per. But missing 2 Assault Marine models. He's going out with lower capacity than he could, but that's because he wanted to get this Predator tank started. He's down in units, needs something new. Something that's going to be able to hopefully deal with this Wraith Lord a bit, as well as the rest of his army. Banshee's coming over here to bash these generators. Predator tank deployed. All right, we're gonna see how we manage this. Starts out with the autocannon. No armor upgrade either. Maybe we'll get the las cannon so that he can do a lot of damage to this Wraith Lord. That las cannon on the Predator does so much damage. But actually, he's coming over to the power because he knows that these Banshees are here, so he's gonna force them off. He should actually move the Predator a little bit closer so that he can also attack with the bolters on the Predator. While I'm talking over here, let's see what's happening. Up in the middle. Alright. Attacks and Sterns and ASM losing models. Banshee's chasing after this Predator tank, which is now coming to the middle, maybe to support this effort. But Tex did get his power decapped, so that's going to put him at a bit of an economic disadvantage. Meanwhile, Riku has a lot of power. I mean, not a lot of power, he's got a lot of resources, period. He might be trying to save up for an Avatar. That's gonna leave Tex in deep shit. Alright. This is a drop pod. Rarely used global because most people want to save their red for Terminators or now Orbital Bombardment, which is now really freaking good. Okay, and this Wraith Lord is definitely overextended. It's going down. He's just got all of his AV here. He's kind of overcommitted it, and there it goes. That really does a lot to equalize things. These scouts just walking up to shuriken platforms and kicking them and punching them. That goes a long way to putting control back in Tex's hands. Even I say it in the chat, looking better. He's still got his power decaps. He's got to go send a unit over there now. But Riku's, as you can see, has already got this Avatar coming up on the field as his 6th unit in addition to his Warlock. Hasn't bought his Warlock back, though. Tex, on the other hand, gets a 2nd Scout Squad. That's an interesting late-game choice. He doesn't actually have that much money to buy other things. He could buy a Devastator Squad, but as I said, that thing gets wiped immediately if it gets flanked by Banshees. Predator over here, now doing some generator bashing. Doesn't care about the shuriken cannon, shooting it over here. We got Stern Guards, we got the Apothecary, we got everything here. They're now at full member capacity. They all have all their members. Apothecary should maybe heal himself. He does have 210 energy, so he should heal himself. Especially do it now rather than later. Or he's just going to heal the Stern Guard, the Stern Guard. The whole Eldar army is coming for him now. Autark not out yet. Big clusterfuck right here. Don't know what's going on. Merciless Strike puts the Banshees in a position where they just got to go. And now this is probably a winning fight for the Space Marines. Tex still has not recaptured his power. He should do that with this new Scout Squad that is coming out right here. Actually, that is not his new Scout Squad. That's his old Scout Squad. His new Scout Squad is standing. Just kind of relaxing. They should probably be capturing stuff over here. Avatar, not exactly a winning battle for any of these units, but as long as he manages or micromanages these units, they shouldn't get caught in any of the Avatar's abilities. They'll just get chased around a bit, maybe hit with this big-ass sword, which is on fire. Actually, it's not on fire. The Avatar himself is on fire. This sword is just orange and probably very hot. Assault Marines not in a great position, but if they retreat now, they will at least live to fight another day. Alright, Tex is back in control of victory points, but he's down to 53 victory points. So he's kind of in a corner. Oh, wow. Alright, now Tex finally has the unit advantage, at least in terms of numbers. He's got to move this Predator back, though, before, Alright, let's see. We got Stern Guard and regular attacks in battles against which they force off Banshees, which sounds like it shouldn't happen, but he activated it, and they shall know no fear right here, which makes the attacks a lot more resistant to damage. 2nd Scout Squad over here recapturing points, just like I said they should. He's kind of dealing with this Avatar by not letting it, basically by kiting it. Nothing too fancy to express. Scouts over here. These scouts getting shot by Rangers need to go. Shuriken platform behind the shield right there. It won't take any damage, but it's not like the Predator tank cares, and it does get the armor upgrade for 200 extra health. Nice upgrade in my opinion. Floyd says, no las cannon. Maybe not. Tex just decides to spend the money in other ways. Could get that soon. Apothecary in a little bit of trouble. Now this Predator looks like he's just going to drive up to that shield, knock it over, and now the Shuriken platform is in a lot of trouble. Warlock, going on, attacking too many people by himself. Not a good fight unless with only the Merciless Witchblade. Mr. Trolensky says, no Vanguard. Alright, Warlock goes down again. Now, if he wants to just make the Warlock a melee fighter, he should get the Champion's Robe and the Heart of Darkness. Very good upgrades, especially more so in 1 versus 1, where you don't have like a million range squads shooting at your Warlock. Makes him extremely tanky. In team battles, I think Warp Throw is the way to go. Even in 1 versus 1, Warp Throw is really good, so I don't know why he didn't get it, aside from the fact that his Warlock is not currently standing. Rangers in a lot of trouble. If they get force meleeed by all of this, I'm sorry, actually, wrong. Because these Rangers not going through all those units. If they went past all those attacks and that Apothecary, they probably would have been force meleeed into death. Guardians capturing, but they're going to start dying from this Predator tank. We got an Eldritch Storm, desperate Eldritch Storm by Dark Riku, in an attempt to wipe this tank. If this tank stayed right there, it would have been wiped. But Tex is smart. He's paying attention. He moves out of the way. Doesn't take any damage whatsoever. Angels of Death force off all these units. Winning engagement for the Space Marines. Makes them immune to knockback. Riku just wasted... It was a desperate move by Riku to use that Eldritch Storm. Now he's got no red. He's also got no units. And that's the end of the replay. Riku conceded. He was actually winning that game. And then Tex made some key plays. Mainly when he took out that Wraith Lord. And then it just kind of fell apart for Riku from there. Anyway, that's my...